be evaluating the support given to the schools by the group offices and the governance of the school group heads, and we also be evaluating any support, not necessarily, we won't be focusing on these entities as our subject, but we know that if a school is not being supported, then the student outcomes are going to be affected. These four elements are inputs. For us, the most important is the output. What is happening for students? We are developing detailed guidelines and indicators for each of the dimensions. So basically, this is how the whole system will look once it is coming together. We are all working towards one end. We are looking at the same things, and hopefully we should see even further improvement in the outputs. The evaluation process, I know this might interest you because when I say this is coming to a school near you, I think it might generate a little bit less enthusiasm because external evaluation does generate anxiety. But I think it's important for you to understand the process. We will be notifying schools up to 3 months ahead. We don't want to have surprise evaluations. The system is based on trust, and we are going to do this together. We would like the school to engage in some kind of situational analysis. We will be guiding the schools on this. But we want to have a face-to-face meeting before the on-site evaluation. It's about creating those connections. It's about establishing a relationship. It's about understanding each other, sharing information. The planning will be done by the team that comes to the school, but we will be sharing that plan with the head of school because we would like to get as much ownership and buy-in as possible. There will be an on-site evaluation. It is not probably going to be shorter than what you have been used to. There will be no audit in the sense that the audit department will be looking at the audit function separately. We'll be focusing mainly on those 5 dimensions. We'll write the report, consult with the head, confirm it, but I guess the most important step is step number 7, which is that we have to implement we have to plan for the changes, we have to act on the recommendations and implement the changes. Now, we are trying to be as responsive to the context as much as possible. We will be looking at the 5 dimensions, but we might be able to adjust that. For example, we might be looking more at particular aspects of teaching and learning, and that depends on the discussions we have with the head. We've also come up with the idea of having the option of schools nominating a regional associate. If you feel that the team might not have the necessarily contextual information about your school, you can nominate somebody to be on the team with us. And that person would need to have not a member of the teaching staff, but somebody from outside the school who knows the school or knows the region and who can help fill in the blanks for us. The frequency, well, initially it will be around about 3 years, but eventually we'll be looking at a differentiated evaluation cycle whereby schools that are doing well and have strong review cycles will be reviewed, will be evaluated more frequently. The evaluation report, I believe we have been used to having quite extensive reports. They will be much shorter, 4 to 8 pages long. They'll be quite concise with an executive summary, main findings on the 5 dimensions. Now we'll also be looking at what we're calling the Chief Executive Special Evaluation Topics. This is an opportunity for Beaconhouse to further strengthen its research, in-school research, where once we are in schools, we might be looking at, just give you an example, how is technology being used in the early years. And that would not take a lot more of the time, but it would also, those reports would be very useful for the heads and for anybody involved in the system. We will always be looking at student safety and entitlement, and The recommendations we'll be making, some of them will be directed at the school, some will be directed at the school group offices. If there are some serious concerns, they will be directed directly to the chief executive and the regional directors. Something about the unit we have setting up. It is an independent unit, so the unit is directly accountable, reports directly to the chief executive. We are engaging people who are going to be evaluators. We're calling them school evaluation associates. You know, the job is to make sure that the decisions they take, the judgments they make are solid. We're also, you know, we are choosing them based on their skills, aptitude, and attitude. Now, in the coming months, you will be receiving the following documentation: the framework, which explains in more detail what I am sharing with you today; a guide to self-review in schools. Ms. Saima Rashid is currently writing that one. The criteria will be more a set of indicators of good practice in the 5 dimensions. This is a team effort at the moment, and we're currently working on it. A guide to school improvement planning, that should probably come towards February of next year. A code of conduct for school evaluation associates, that is already done. And quality promise, which means that we'll be looking at quality control, feedback, and a complaints procedure. We want you to be, this is one question somebody asked me at the beginning of my time here, is who is going to evaluate the evaluators? And that's a very good question, because we will make sure that you are the first people who are going to evaluate us. Our next steps, well, continuing the consultation in the regions. Training for the new school evaluation associates is expected to commence in January, and the first evaluations a few weeks after that. We will start slowly this year, and next year we'll try to start with a full schedule. Now, I've just put my email there. We do have a small team already. We're looking for more evaluation associates, especially those from people based in Lahore. If you think you could fit the criteria, or if you are really looking for a challenging career, a new career, please contact me. If you don't remember my email, don't worry. Contact the Human Resources Department. School evaluation is only one strategy to help raise student achievement. We've just heard Mrs. Hassan talk about the ELD strategies, and I look forward to hearing Mrs. Haq and what the results of this conference are in terms of direction. Over the past 2-3 days, we've heard how Beaconhouse is a very large organization. It is a large organization, but if you agree with me, organizations are also human communities. So it has given me a great pleasure to engage with you as a human community in trying to sense and create our future together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Testa. Indeed, a process of evaluation, a continuous process of evaluation is critical for the growth and development of any organization. And I found it interesting to hear you mention the anxiety that might be accompanied with these processes. I think until we learn to welcome evaluation and ideas for change as something that can only lead to improvement and growth, progress cannot be made. I also think that other than formal systems of evaluation, I think it's still every teacher's duty to bring their own ideas forward in a more informal way. All of you are in the classroom environment, probably constantly coming up with ideas, and all of those can be shared and filtered through.